to Yo guys, it's up Shadowy and welcome back to Space Engineers. Today we're working on the gunnery room, or whatever we want to call it. Fire command, something like that. Okay, so I think we should, first and foremost, weld all these stations, which means we need a gazillion of computers and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, that's what we will need for the most part.
Energy low.
And then, of course, I'm not sure if we actually managed to finish that room today, but there is, of course, the question of what is the next room gonna be. And, you know, I'm trying to come up with clever ideas. There's just a few things that I came up with that make no sense, because it's like, you know, sci-fi, too sci-fi for space engineers. And I think I mentioned things like that before, stuff like, I don't know, teleportation rooms and stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense in this universe, but, you know, I'm sure we'll come up with something. Alright, let me see. Do we have enough computers? That's the question. I could have calculated how much we need, but, you know me by now, I'm not calculating things. That is for nerds. Which I promise you, I'm not. No, not in the slightest. There we go. There we need about 200 more. Then I think we'll also grab some motors. I saw that we needed them. Motors and some of that stuff. Yeah, that will be good. And also I realized while I was on stream, I like subconsciously basically did the whole floor on the hallway here, but I didn't weld it yet, so that's good. So we can just spontaneously cut holes into that floor whenever we need it. So that's good. There we go, 100 computers. Let's just try to add construction components to all the other... Oh wait, we already ran out of all the construction components. And the interior plates too. Right. I think right now we're just depositing motors, I believe. Yeah. Just making sure everywhere motors are available. Okay. What else do we need? Displays, interior plates, and construction components. Pretty much that. I think. There we go. It is, you know, I said a few times, I like these long-term projects, but there's always stretches where you think, that is kind of boring, but, you know, that's exactly the moments where you need to keep going. There's always like plateaus where you're not quite sure where it's gonna go, and you don't see like any way forward at the moment, but you just have to push through it, right? It's kind of when you try to pull an all-nighter, you know. There will be a time where you will become very, very tired, and you think, I'm gonna fall asleep. If you pull through that though, then you will be awake for a long, long time. At least that's how I do it most of the time. You know, generally, I generally do not stay up like days after days. Like when I was younger, I used to do it, but not anymore, really. However, once a year we have a LAN party that's like 10 days gaming, basically, and during that time, my day-night rhythm shifts. Not as crazy as it used to be fair, but still, it just naturally starts to shift. And to basically repair that before I go to work again, what I normally do is after basically the last night, so the second last day, I try to not go to bed, because if I stay awake for that, and then the last day I will stay awake until the evening, and then I'm so dead tired that I can just drop into bed like normally, like on normal times, and then I basically am in the normal rhythm again. That has worked for me quite well, I have to say. I did it now a few times, and that is a pretty good way to, if you fuck up your sleeping rhythm for some reason, That's a way you can do it, to basically get into balance again. It's kind of hard to do it. You need a lot of... I don't know if willpower is the right word, but you need to get through a few rough patches and never, ever fall asleep, because otherwise it's basically wasted it. You know, if you're like at the evening, you know, like, or maybe the last day, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, if you go to sleep then, the problem is you will wake up 3 hours later and then you will not be able to sleep for the whole night. And then you're really, really fucked up in the morning. So you need to really keep at it, so to speak. But yeah. I think we just need more construction components, don't we? I believe so. Yes. Okay, cool. So we got that out of the way. Yeah, I mean, that looks not bad. I think I had it in mind way worse than this. Now, what I was thinking that we maybe either put even more of these things on, or maybe we'll put desks on without chairs. You know, in between here. Because then it will look a bit more complete, I have the feeling. So, let's get a bunch of construction components, interior plates, and just put these bad boys down, shall we? Okay, let's have at least kind of equal amount of... there we go. Because I think like this it will look a little bit more consistent, you know? There we go. Yes, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll definitely need to refill once more because that's a lot of materials, these desks. I mean, Jesus. It's like 30 a desk. So that's 120
Energy
per side.
low.
Yeah, there we go. Need some more. Yoink. There we go. Steady, steady. I think we'll take... I think 100 should probably be enough. Then we'll also take some more steel plates with us. So we can do the ceiling, and then we're already on the lighting. Actually, this is a very easy, not very complicated room to design, really. We should get this done in no time. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks decent enough. We might add some LCD screens in the process of putting in the ceiling, but we'll see. You know, maybe above the tables and stuff like that. We'll see how well this is gonna look if we do it. There we go. Just putting all of that in. All of the blocks needed here. We don't need to weld them all, but still, we'll put them in. And then in these, over the seats, we'll have a 1 block high ceiling. There we go. So it's a little bit enclosed. If you are in a seat like that, I kind of like this. So yeah, and then in the middle it will be a 2 block high ceiling, something like that. Okay, let's weld the basically the ring around
Energy
the inner.
critical.
About the around the inner 3 blocks there. Let's do that. And also get some energy. If we can. There we go. So we just need a bunch of those. Also, let's replenish some of the components that we just spent. Maybe a bit more computers. Let's make 500 computers. There we go. We're producing like crazy.
Energy
Again, I would
low.
love to see statistics to this game. You know, how many components have you produced? How much iron have you basically spent? How much tons of material have you mined? That would be so interesting. You know, I know Minecraft has a lot of these statistics. How many blocks have you mined? How many animals have you killed? How many food have you how much food have you consumed, rather? Right. And then I'll have to think how exactly this is going to be lighted. Are we going to go for this orangey light again, or do we want to go red this time in the actual fire control? Because there you potentially only need to see the screens, maybe. I'm not quite 100% certain on how and what happens in the gunnery room, you know? Or the fire control. I think that's what we called it, right? Last time, the fire control? Right. Okay, beautiful. So now we'll put in the true ceiling, so to speak. There we go. Just all of that. And there we go, last row. And then afterwards we'll put all the surrounding things in as well, of course. But yeah. First things first. Oh, and also, obviously, never forget the... I almost called it breathing hole there. The vent, of course. The breathing hole. That's what dolphins have on their back, right? The breathing hole. Oh, yeah. Okay. But at least that room is not complicated from the air vents. No additional rooms whatsoever, so that should be easy. Let me get at least some of that, so we can put down the conveyor minimum. And, yeah, we'll do the lights afterwards. There is the conveyor. There it is. Right there. Beautiful. Okay, more welding. More and more. You know, you would probably think that I might have copied this into a creative world and tested it. You know, basically built a shell and tried it out. But I actually resisted that urge. When I saw the station competition, I was thinking maybe I should have done that, but I was way too late anyway for that. But that would have been the only time I thought about actually, you know, not cheating, because it's not like I'm not going to build this entirety in here, but, you know, sometimes it feels kind of like cheating if you try it out in creative first. I only do it on things that are very experimental and I'm really not certain about it. But with things like this, you know, just go ahead and do it, right? And I mean, what is the benefit of doing this in creative? It's not like I need to test something out that is critical. I'll just see how it looks, basically. That's the only thing I would get from it. A general idea how it looks in the end. And actually, I kind of want to see this, you know, as a surprise myself. That is one of the coolest things right now. That I see this thing growing every week. And with every week, it grows a little bit closer to what I expected. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does look a bit different than I expected. And that's okay too, you know? I'm always like delighted by things like that. And I just decided to at least put the necessary blocks down over here. Because otherwise this is not completed and it will not be tolerated. I don't need to weld all of this, but still. At least want this to be, you know, finished in some capacity, if you will. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully we don't need to go back before to get more steel plates. Although, it might be close here. No, we're not gonna do it. Okay. But at least we'll get some construction components so we can start with the lights immediately afterwards. Let's get 50. That should be alright. And then we'll put all the lights in. And maybe, again, some LCD screens perhaps at certain locations. I'm not quite sure where though. But first we have to figure out where the lights go. Right, let's take a look. Okay, yeah, that works. So, where would the lights go in this situation here? Now, I always like to have like one block in between the lights. So if we take the middle block here as a gap basically, then we'll end up with lights over all the empty desks part, so to speak. Like that. And I think, yeah, I put them all in the right orientation. Very good. Hooray me.
Low.
Again, Jesus, going fast. There we go. Okay. Let me sit down real quick at a desk, and then we'll do the lighting. Oh, I think, oh yeah, by the way, I think I did not correctly name everything on mission control yet. I might have to do that afterwards. But yeah, these are fire control. Let's call it fire control. Fire control. Yeah, sure. Which is kind of cool. We have mission control and fire control, like not right next to each other. Makes sense, right? So we'll get all of these. Then go a bit bigger on the radius. 9.5. Offset. Oh, and I'll only selected 2 there. That's a bit bad. I just want to say why it's so dark in the corner over there. But yeah, okay, makes sense. And now... Dun dun dun. I mean, does that look good? Does that look bad? Not sure. Not sure, to be honest. Maybe we need to enhance this picture a little bit. But yeah, first we need to actually name a few things because, especially the control stations. There's a few control stations over here that I did not name yet, I think. Like these guys. Yeah, there we go. So, mission control computer. Just gonna call it that, and we're gonna quickly hop over to every one of these and just put that in. At least it's not that many, but yeah, there we go. Right, and then we have all these LCD screens, the transparent ones, but they're all in here, I believe. So if we... Yeah, they're all in here. Okay. Mission control LCD. There we go. Let's just rename all of that. Then there's also a few things I need to get rid of that we don't need in the basically the list here, right? There's a few things we don't need here. So which door is this? Oh yeah, obviously these are the. This is the yeah, I see it. Mission control door commander. And this one is... Yeah, this one is the entrance door. There we go. All the desks not needed. Then we have armory, LCD, air vent. Where's the incomplete air vent? The complete one is in here, I believe. Yeah, that's the complete one. So this is mission control. Air vent. I believe the other one is the med bay, right? Med bay. Air vent. I believe, at least. That would be the only one I can just think of off the top of my head that we didn't finish. Right, what else is there? There's console block. I think the one with the lowest number is the one in here. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is mission control. Console block. And then all these stations are in fire control, that's fine. That must be the entrance, I think. Yeah, must be. Let's just check it real quick. Yeah. Good, I think now we have most of it under control again. I think we named... Oh yeah, these ones not. So this is mission control servers. Sure. That's fine. We're gonna go with that. Everything else is done. Good! So at least a little bit order has been restored on this station here. Might actually turn down the lights a little bit. They're a bit too... almost too aggressive here. Because they bleed through. So we're gonna go to maybe 7.5 here. That's probably better if we go out and see where it's... how it looks. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay. So now what I would like to do is to have something on this screen that looks cool. So all these control stations, to, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which makes sense, right? Yeah, 9. Perfect. That makes perfect sense. Okay. So these are all going to be turret control, basically. Or fire control turret seat. Yeah, sure. Something along those lines. Gonna name all of them. And I'm not quite sure if I should just paste the faction logo onto it, because that's kind of nice and red. Or, let's think about this. Text and images. The other one that we could do, that we have in the other room, that looks kind of nice, is the Trinity logo thingy. Because that looks kind of like a crosshairs kind of thingy. You know what I mean? Like a modern red dots thingy. Well, I don't know if it would be good as a red dots reticle, the way it's set up. But that kind of looks like a gun interface, doesn't it? I think it does. Okay. I think this is fine for the most part. Right. Now, LCD screens. Well, first and foremost, we also need a vent. We need to put in here, like so. Now, where, if we had some LCD screens, where would we put them? And what would they display? That is the question. So we could either go with transparent LCDs, the normal ones, or the corner ones, I think. So the normal ones would probably need to be like so. It would be kind of cool if we could put it on the half block, but that doesn't work, of course. Yeah, no, that looks weird. And these, if we want to put them up here, they're too high up to actually be of any use, I think. And just put them there to say, like, gun turret 1, turret 2, turret 3. I don't know. I have the feeling these should be, like, not set to a specific turret. You basically should just be able to just sit down in one of those and then basically say, like, I want to control turret 7, and then you just go. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's a good idea. You know what? We'll just stick one out here. There we go. And I think that's it for this room. I have the feeling. Maybe we... You know what? If we don't put in any more fancy stuff, then we might as well do some decorative stuff like this. Right? Make the room look a little bit more tight. Also, in a practical sense, this adds a little bit more armor to the room that you need to get through if you want to destroy it. I guess. At least from this side. Also, I'm thinking about adding one of these here. You know, just so it looks a bit more cohesive with the vent block. If that makes sense. I think that looks not half bad, actually. So we're gonna go with that. Let's add more more of that, and then we'll return with some more steel plates, displays, and also, I think we'll also get... what else do we get? Some interior plates, displays, because we want to obviously have a door. Obviously, we need to put one of those in as well. So, it bleeds a blade through the top, but that shouldn't be a problem, I think. Yeah, I think this looks decent, actually. I'm now way more happy with this room than I was before, I have to say. Seriously, on stream I was kind of like hesitant about this room, but now I kind of see it, you know. I think that's fine. Let's put a door in. Computers, construction components, and motors we need. Right. I'm trying to make a song in my head, so I remember it. Computer, construction components, motors. Computer, construction components, motors. There we go. Isn't this like a technique to memorize things? Not a song necessarily, but to make like a little story in your head with everything that you need to remember. You know, let's say... Oh, small tubes, for God's sakes. Let's say somebody is telling you a list of 10 objects, and you desperately need to memorize all of them. Apparently a good technique is to basically make a little story in your head where every object plays a part. You know, let's say the words are... Oh god, now it's going to be embarrassing because I will not be able to remember the first words once I'm done with all of them. Let's stick to 3. Let's say dog, house, and ball. So in order to memorize this, you would go like, there was a dog, he wanted to get into the house because he lost his ball there. Something like that. And then if somebody tries to, says, do you remember all the words? Then you will try to recite the story in your head. And because you generally know the story, you might probably be able to come up with the words by context if you forgot them. You know what I mean? If you just try to remember the word and you forget the word, there is no context to bring it back. I guess that's how it works. I'm not an expert, but that's what I would reckon is the trick there, right? Alright, fire control. There we go. Beautiful. Let's get this a bit bigger and a bit more centered. Right. Let's also just name it correctly. LCD... Oh, no, fire control. LCD entrance. The names after the dashes are all over the place. I'm very aware of that. Most names of the things are pretty random, but, you know, it's about the front part that I know to which thing it belongs. Here we have another air vent. This is the fire control air vent. Control. There we go. And now we also have the console blocks that we need to name real quick as well. And I'm not sure, I think some of these we might actually put some LCD things on it. What I could, for example, imagine is to basically, in creative, build a turret, just a turret, or maybe some parts around it, save that as a blueprint, and then have like different weapon parts basically displayed here, like a turret here, a missile turret, and then maybe even the rocket launchers over here, you know? Something like that, maybe a rocket battery. You know, basically, so they can say, oh, we have this weapon type, we need to reroute all the powers to the missile turrets, or something like that. I don't know. I always come up with some weird scenarios. There we go. Alright, mission control. Oh, actually, hold on. Hold on. Screenshot time. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, it's kind of ugly that the vent is not finished, though. Let me deal with that. Oh, okay. I actually had everything with me. Nice. Good on me. There. Right. There we go. Nice and red. Mission control. Fire control, of course. Nice. Looked good. Oh yeah, also, if I already have some material, I might as well try to complete that other vent in the med bay. Is it in the med bay? Where's that other vent? There must be... Hold on. Med bay. No, it's not a med bay vent. Which vent did we put in and that is not... Oh, is there one in mission control that we did not complete, perhaps? One in the colonel's office? The commander's office? Aha! Found you! Oh, you almost threw me for a loop there. Let's see. And air vent. That's one word. Just as Germans would. That's a German thing, isn't it? To basically smash words together. In English, I always have to remind myself, most of the time, if there's like words, they are not written together. They're written with a gap. It's German makes you sometimes think, oh, these words, they must be written together because they mean one thing. But most of the time, it's with a gap. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get these grammar things if you're natively German speaking, but I guess it's the other way around as well. I mean, if you're a native English speaker and you try to learn German, just the amount of articles that German has is probably a kind of mind-boggling for you. You know, why do you give why does a tree, the tree, why does that have to have a masculine article? Der Baum. Why is the tree masculine? Is it because it's big, long, and hard? Oh, no, let's not go there. Okay. Right. So, that's been it for today, I would say. Next time on stream, I need to come up with an idea for this room. And then there's the mirrored part, which is probably going to be a bit awkward because we have to go back and forth all the time. But at least we can fly through the middle here. At least that, you know. We can do that. But yeah. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.